Roro Noah Zoro, the swordsman of the Straw Hats, the Moss Hat, the bloody eye candy, in my personal opinion, of the Straw Hats and the aspiring greatest swordsman in the world. What does a man like that have to fear? Well, he is known for not fearing anything, right? But in my opinion, after his failure in Sabaody, after his meet and greet with Kuma, there is a deep, deep fear within him that he cannot get away from. There's PTSD. There's uncertainty of him reaching his goal. And I'm here to talk about that. Right. Zoro hadn't failed much up until we got to Sabaody and or like the later Thriller Buck thing, later Thriller Buck arc. He in the series he only up until the time strip he only failed twice against Koina, and when he at that point he told Koina that he will be the greatest swordsman in the world, and that would be the only time he lost, and then up against Mihawk, where he realized he was nowhere close to being the greatest swordsman, and there was a long, long path ahead of him. But both of these points, he took them as inspiration, as okay, you know what? I'm not there yet, but I can do better and I will get there. Up until he got up until fighting the pacifistas in Sabaody, that's where it came down. That's where he realized, oh shit, I am not ready for the new world. I cannot protect the Straw Hats. I'm not strong enough to be able to protect the Straw Hats. What the fuck am I gonna do? And that's what we're here to talk about. Let's get started with the fight against Mihawk at the Barasier. At the time, the fight served more of an eye opener for both Zoro and the watcher or reader of One Piece, because we realized our boy wasn't even close to being where he needed to be to become the greatest swordsman in the world. Yes, he was already feared as the demon pirate hunter in East Blue. Yes, he was already really, really strong. He could defeat people like Kabaji from the Buggy's crew with ease, Action Morden's Marines with ease. But, like, he just wasn't there up and like Mihawk being the greatest swordsman in the world, he wasn't there. But even Mihawk realized his ambition and wanted him to get stronger and have another rematch later on, which was yes, he was humbled, but it was more of a motivational thing as well that he wanted to get up. He wanted to get up. He promised his captain that he will never lose again and will become the greatest swordsman in the world. And Luffy demand demanded it from him because he Luffy also wants to be the pirate king. And to be the wing of one of the wings of the pirate king, you kind of have to be the greatest in the world. like like later on in the East Blue, he learned how to cut steel while fighting the Baroque works. The even like in his lobby, he was easily able to defeat um the giraffe. Also, that was such a stupid devil fruit. The fucking giraffe, man. He's turning into a giraffe. Anyway, but yes, this fight was used as a motivation for him to get up, go fighting, and keep going. And then it'll pay off a few hundred episodes later when we get onto the time skip. But for now, we are gonna jump up onto Thriller Bark towards the tail end of Thriller Bark. After the big fight against Moira, a warlord of the sea, a second warlord appeared to claim Luffy's head. That was Kuma. Everybody's on the verge of death. Luffy's asleep. Everybody else is collapsed as well. And the only person up is Zoro, making sure that while everybody rests, while everybody gains their strength back, he protects the crew from any sort of like enemies or anything like that. He's there. Instead of resting, he is vigilant and ready to go. He goes out, slashes Kuma, realizes he's half cyborg and that he cannot defeat him. He's way too strong. He lays down his life to protect his captain. And this is one of the moments I think, in my as I read it, was him almost giving up on his ambition. Not necessarily giving up, but putting his captain's ambition over his own, right? It's like yes, his ambition is kingly ambition. He should have conquered Haki, but at this point he didn't. Why? Because he put his captain's will, captain's dream above his own, and that's what I think put him a little bit lower on the line of getting conquered Haki. Anyway, but yeah, he offers Kuma to take Zoro's head instead of Luffy's, proclaiming that if he didn't kill him right here, right now, he will become the greatest swordsman in the world. And seeing this ambition, Kuma asks him, even Kuma asks him about this, like, do you really want to die for your captain when you have such a big ambition? And he said, if my captain dies, what's the point of me becoming the greatest swordsman in the world if I can't even protect my own captain? Kuma sees this, gives him an ultimatum. Zoro survives, nothing happens. You know the gist. But in my opinion, this was one of the moments that he had PTSD from this. He realized that the new world contained so many big enemies, so many stronger enemies, so many enemies that he's just not ready to fight yet, right? And then not long after that, we move on to Sabaody. Some shenanigans happen. They get into fight with the world government, as Luffy does. Just punches a bloody celestial dragon, which, to be fair, had coming, but it didn't help things. They weren't ready to fight yet. Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, all three of them used their most powerful attacks to take down one pacifista. Lie down, rest for a second, then they realize, oh shit, another pacifista is coming towards them, and they're confused as hell because they just defeated Kuma. Why is there another one? Then slowly, Kuma wipes the floor with all the straw hats, sends them flying. We don't know what happens at this point, right? And everybody is drawn to their respective destinations. Zoro gets to Mihawk's castle, Luffy gets to Amazon Lily, so on and so forth. After the Paramount War, after the Marineford arc, Zoro realizes what his captain's trying to say in the secret message in the newspaper and asks Mihawk to train him to be stronger for his captain. This is another moment, in my opinion, when Zoro, because he put away his pride, because he put away his ambition, because he put away all his pride and ambition for his captain's role. This is this also pushes his capability, his I don't know how capability to get obtain Conqueror's Haki a little bit to the side, right? Because going into the new world after the time skip, yes, he's stronger. Yes, he's still cocky, but even in um even in when they're about to fight um Caesar Clown, the crackhead Caesar Clown, right? Luffy, not Luffy, Zoro asks Luffy to get a grip. Get a grip, defeat this annoying prick. And Luffy and Sanji both see through his facade and realize, oh shit, Zoro is actually scared. He doesn't know what he's doing. He still is a little bit scared. They don't call him out on it. Sanji does proclaim it, say it out loud, but he doesn't say it to him. To Zoro, he says it to himself that Zoro is being too hard on himself. That is because he is scared. He's scared that he's not strong enough. He can't protect his crew. He is scared. He has PTSD and is anxious after his failure in Sabaody. He obviously gets armament haki, puts slows down the birdcage at Dressrosa, right? Which is also for him, instead of fighting on his own, he is protecting everybody instead of like going after um, the Joker himself, Doflamingo himself, because he knows that's his captain's role. Then afterwards, we move on to Wano, right? He gives away Shusui, gets Odin's sword Enma, and he cannot wield it. Why? Because Enma requires you to have Conqueror's Haki, and Zoro does not have Conqueror's Haki as of yet because he has put his own ambition down up until the fight with King. Up until his 1v1 with King, he, he put away his own ambition, put away his own pride to fight for Luffy. Made sure Luffy is safe, make sure Luffy can achieve his dreams, and to be stronger for Luffy instead of being stronger for himself, being stronger for his own goals, his own ambitions. Up until when King disrespects him, trash talks to him, and he gains his own strength back. He gains his mental fortitude, his own strength, and his ambition back, and his ambition to get to become the greatest swordsman in the world is rejuvenated, redone, and and at that moment is when he gets his conqueror's heart because now his kingly ambition is back on track. He's on track to become the greatest swordsman in the world, was one of the most powerful swords in the world, Enma. And yeah, well, that's all I have to say about Zoro and his pride. Him trying to get how he got his Torrentors Haki. Now going into Egghead Island arc. I'm quite excited. The first episode dropped a couple of days ago. It was a banger. I loved it. The animation style, the new opening, everything about it is gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I cannot wait to see where Zoro goes from here on to up until he becomes the greatest swordsman in the world and has his rematch against Mihawk. Because that will be fun and exciting. He'll probably get a couple of new swords. Wado Ichimonji is not going anywhere. Enma, I doubt is going anywhere. But the third sword, I believe he might just get a new one. Imagine if he gets the Euro. That'd be insane. But we'll see what Oda has planned for him. But yeah, thank you for watching. And see you in the next video. Bye.